A grid worth building is about humans. It's about society, and it's about enabling millions, tens of millions of humans, businesses, individuals, families, industries to not only access energy, but to co-create energy, to share it, to exchange it, to create value together.
The grid we need is one that can quickly build, stay reliable and safe while delivering energy to those who need it most. That includes households all the way to American businesses, and it'll allow us to be competitive and continue to lead the future.
We are already in the midst of a jarring transition, and there is no way to escape it. So transition isn't the right word. If we'd seen this coming a decade and a half ago, we could have had an orderly transition. I think what we are right now is in the midst of a transformation, whether we like it or not. It's happening. The system is transforming whether we like it or not, but we get to own the outcome of what it transforms into. And if we do our job well, that can be something that's better for everybody.
So we exist in the shadow of the legacy structure where we've wanted to compensate and encourage the utility to build more stuff. We have a power grid that, depending on where it is, it's about 40 to 60% utilized. Yet we are spending hundreds of billions of dollars making it bigger instead of getting more out of what we have. And this is a byproduct of the fact that 100 years ago, millions of people did not have access to the power grid, so we wanted to encourage the utility to build more. Now that everybody's connected to the power grid, we need to encourage the utility to do something else.
So I think it's a really interesting time. The grid historically is not something that undergoes major change, right? It's a utility, it does its purpose, and it takes a lot of money to invest in it. It takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of aligning forces to make it work. Right now, we're at the convergence of many different mega trends that are all happening at the exact same time. So you add all these trends together, and it's just a really unique time. That's when, instead of relying on evolutionary change, you're actually reinventing the grid under all these demands at the same time. When you add in the AI boom and you add in the electrification of everything, you put it all together, and we need to actually change fast to keep up.
The ideal grid worth building is a larger grid that connects all of our regions into an integrated whole. Consumers would benefit from this larger grid. There are huge economies of integrating it and expanding it, and we're missing out on those. Our system is very balkanized and separate, and we need to integrate it more, and I think everybody would benefit from the reliability and affordability that would come from that.
It's really important to remember that the power grid is a mix of different systems. That means we need to equally invest in both the transmission system and the distribution system. It gets more people in the game. It allows those who need to use the system to also give back to the system. And I really think we have solutions already today that are proven that utilities as well as new entries into the power market can utilize to make the most of every electron on the system.
The world needs to care about batteries. Batteries are central to most of what the world needs right now, which means there are large multi-acre batteries that are being built to stabilize the grid, these long duration energy storage devices. But we don't have the strongest players in America for battery development and battery manufacturing. Number one in the world is CATL in China. It's well known in the battery industry that if you want a strong battery, you're getting it from Asia. We have to ask ourselves, is this going to allow for the kind of resiliency and independence that America wants?
The policies that will be most impactful for accelerating the grid of the future is really investment in domestic manufacturing, as well as cybersecurity, resilience, and thinking about how consumers can be part of this creative structure that is the grid. We actually have a lot of opportunities for consumers at the individual level to the company level to be not only users, but generators. And so we need to be able to support that ecosystem in a way that creates resilient supply chains, but also results in lower overall costs for all.
The ideal grid to me, absolutely more control at the customer level. More interaction at the customer level. The customer needs to be a partner. You can't look at them as customers that are trapped in a one-way system. They become resources, and they should participate, and they should control their own destiny.
Electricity is invisible. Consumers buy power all the time, but they don't know how much they're buying. They don't know what is contributing to that, and utilities just send them a bill 30 days after the end of the month. And sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low. And that is a very low trust experience that customers currently have. Utilities, by selling that high trust product, can enable the grid of the future if they build trust, if they work with customers to provide maximum transparency about what's happening, provide the right tools and automation to reduce their cost structure during the times of the day that lead to the highest costs. And historically, customers have always thought of the grid and power as something that they bought, a one-way transaction. But in the grid of the future, we are going to have two-way transactions. And many customers will have negative bills because they will be doing the right thing at the right time, at the right place, sometimes manually, but oftentimes automatically.
What we're serving is also what we're using to build. And this is a theme. And this is a theme that grid players, grid operators, grid technology producers need to be focused on. And what I mean specifically is they need to be using the kind of AI technologies of, multi-agent optimization for everything they've been doing, right? Laying out their transmission distances, understanding what kind of aluminum or copper they should be using. There's so many trade-offs that are influential to speeding up this kind of grid growth. And everybody needs to be starting to use the benefits of artificial intelligence to do it, right? It is a flexible, general solution that everybody can use, and the best countries in the world that are growing the fastest in energy infrastructure are leaning in on AI.
And the grid should be part of the underpinning for what reflects a different societal goal. And that should be something that is more reflective of what we want, not what we need today. But what do we aspire to? And there should be some outrageous thinking behind it.
A lot of the existing players want to do things the same way they've always done things. But increasingly, we're educating politicians, we're educating regulators, we're educating people who don't quite know that the AI tools are available to move faster. And they are now ready to impose those tools onto the folks who are gatekeeping our grid. The biggest myth around US energy infrastructure is that the grid is not capable of handling all this load growth. We have the capacity to do this.
What is the vision? What kind of grid are we trying to build? This cannot be determined by one government department or a regulator or whoever. It is a societal challenge. We need to build the capability to work on these things together. The grid can be an agent of national alignment, convergence, shared outcomes for society. The grid worth building, the grid of the rest of this century, is a grid that is a virtuous circle. It's an enabler of shared value. It has the potential to create a national dialogue that builds alignment, that builds unity, that builds shared value and opportunity.
Maybe there's a different tomorrow, and there should be. This should reflect what do we want to see as part of our future. This is an opportunity. The grid is a web that underpins our society. It is a social construct, and it is something that we can control.